Thanks.
You never
Search
know.
history.
I wouldn't be mad. I mean, we could watch some porn together if you guys want.
Yeah.
I'm into some real
I'm down, dude. Let's break down this Matthew Golden film. That's porn to me.
Oh. Brother, you find some new kinks, my guy.
Football is my thing.
You just watch. Do you watch football with the boys?
I mean,
Are you ready for real this time?
I've been ready, bro.
Well, you interrupted me last time.
I'm born ready. Look how serious my face is right now. Okay. I'm like, damn, can't open this.
This is your forecast.
Let's go.
it's time, baby.
What we're gonna do is go through all the picks and say who we're gonna trade.
All the picks.
So I'm gonna give you.
All your pictures?
We're gonna go through each
I don't want to
pick
look through your pictures.
and
dude.
say
That's-
who would you rather have, the pick or this guy? Now the first one's for you, Jaden,
Okay.
because you have the first pick. Would
now.
you take Patrick Mahomes for that first pick?
Would I take Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick
for the
Mahomes
pick?
or the 1.1?
Just Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
No. The biggest reason is because I haven't really been liking Patrick Mahomes. He's shown it like the last 2 years that he's not that fantasy guy that he was before. But also, I mean, as a 101 owner, I know I can get more than just Patrick Mahomes. So,
So if you were offered Pat Mahomes right now for the 101, you think you'd say no?
yes.
What's the lowest quarterback offer you could take?
Lowest?
As in, like,
Yeah.
Like who's the worst quarterback you could take?
I'm thinking, because I
Would you take Drake May?
No.
actually, he's rated lower than Mahomes.
Absolutely.
May's rated lower than Mahomes.
But honestly, I'm probably only taking like 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, like
Hurts,
maybe Hurts, yeah, and
Herbert.
Daniels.
maybe Daniel, yeah, probably Daniel. And I know this is extremely high value of quarterbacks
No, I get that.
I'm saying I would be willing to go for, but I think I'm allowed to do that. So.
What do you take? You taking Mahomes?
I thought this was a question for Jake. I don't want to have to answer this. This is a tough one.
We're all answering all these questions.
I was glad you didn't ask me because I think this is way harder than Jake does. It's really tough for me. And I think my answer is going to come down to this for the vast majority of these questions. So this is just my pre-warning ahead of time. Most of the time I'm going to like the pick just because I'm not tied to a player and finding somebody who likes that player. Like I have a valuable asset and I can shop it a different way. However, like if I'm a team that needs a quarterback, like I'm totally fine taking Pat Mahomes. If I don't have 2 good starting quarterbacks, I will take Pat Mahomes for the one.
His if you look at his numbers, like Jacob said, I feel like they haven't been good enough for the 101.
Right
Yeah,
now,
no, totally agree.
his name
His
is
name value
way
is-
better than his, and it's understandable. He could easily get right back on that same track with Rashee Rice being healthy all season. But
We're moving on to the second pick now.
please do. I'm tired of talking about back.
What about Devin A-Chain for the second pick?
No. For the second pick?
Yeah.
Ooh, I thought we were still talking 101 because
we moved on to the second pick.
okay, we're on the second pick for Devin A-Chain.
Yeah.
A-Chain. 4-chain.
How are you supposed to say it?
A-Chan.
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 4scan. Yeah.
Devon A-Chan.
I'm about to edit that out now.
That's tough.
These are all going to be tough. So.
I would
Yeah,
say,
they should be close, right?
Yeah.
I would say no for the most part because I think he's kind of injury prone, and he's a damn good running back. That's so tough. Why do you gotta do this? Why are we the ones that have to do this? Make some other podcast do this. Like
This is where you get to break down your thoughts for the people, and they get to see how Jake's mind works.
oh, man,
It's a little embarrassing.
I
how
don't
that
know
works.
my mind, bro.
Make your pick.
No, I'm not doing it.
Just keeping the second pick.
No, yeah, I mean he's already 2 years into his deal. Yeah, I'm keeping the second pick.
I'm on board. I'm keeping the second pick. Despite loving
Man,
Devon
that's your
A-Chan,
boy.
I'm keeping the second pick because I think I can draft a first round running back with that pick. I think 2 running backs get first round draft capital, and I'm willing to move on from Achane, who only has 2 years left on his deal, no 5th-year option, and a team that is, vastly underwhelmed, in my opinion, over the Mike McDaniel era. So, yeah, I'll go with the pick.
He's had one of the best first 2 seasons from an efficiency standpoint.
He's incredible.
He's like up there with Jamal Charles.
Yeah, he's been unreal.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like I don't like Von Achane. You guys know
And that's your boy.
That is my guy. Like, I love that dude. But
You thought, basically.
Kyler Murray or the 3rd pick?
I do like Kyler.
You?
You,
I didn't think you liked him.
you think Cam Ward is going to 3?
It's 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
So
in fantasy drafts,
Yeah.
I think will be 3 at the highest in most drafts.
okay.
That's my personal opinion of it right now, just because I think 2 first-round running backs.
Yeah. Because I think if Cam Ward's there at 3, I think I'd love to take Ward. Though Kyler for 3, I think I would take that. I think I would take Kyler for the 3rd overall. I like Kyler. I think he's really successful. I think he could get even better with a good, wide receiver core around him. I don't think Harrison was the answer to all their problems. They still need to get some more people in there, but yeah, I think he could be pretty good, even better.
Is he better?
I
Is
think
he
he's good.
Is he a better fantasy quarterback
Yes.
than real life quarterback?
Absolutely. But he's locked in. People think he's good, and so he's not going anywhere for a few years at least. So unless he gets some injury or whatever, I guess. But
I'm going Kyler there too. Kyler actually disappointed me pretty harshly this year. Like, I had some pretty high expectations for him. One of my hot takes was Kyler QB1 overall, and it looked good for 2 weeks, and then it didn't. And he has some inconsistencies, and I mean, just as far as a week-to-week basis, like, you were not comfortable starting Kyler Murray this year. I think he had 4 weeks inside the top 10, and they were great because they were all inside the top 3, I think.
Right.
But other than that, it's like, okay, so why do I want Kyler Murray over putting, if I didn't draft Kyler Murray and I had Sam Darnold in the last round of the draft, like, I smoked Kyler Murray in points per game, in wins added. It makes a big difference. So I think I'm going to go Kyler just because I think I would take Kyler over any position player left in the rookie draft at the 103. And I'm definitely going to take him over Cam Ward because I don't think Ward projects to be like a high volume fantasy scorer. Like, even if he's a really good quarterback, the way he plays quarterback, I just don't see the path to a truly elite asset.
Yeah, like Kyler's adding you 600, 700 rushing yards.
In a good year, I'd say it's probably been a couple years since he hit that. But
Cam Ward, he can run, but that's not really his thing. He's not gonna be giving you a lot of fantasy points from his running. The way Kyler does.
See, and the other part of it is he can run, like you said. He's a gifted runner. But my gosh, the sacks created with Cam Ward is unreal. It's like 29% of the sacks that he took this year were created by him. And in college, the rushing yards, a sack takes away your rushing yards. He finished the season with negative 50 rush yards because of the sacks he was taking.
Wow.
Because he does that stupid thing where it's panic, backpedal, lose 6 extra yards. And it's an instinct thing, It's just, you gotta reps on reps makes that difference.
Hurts is kind of doing that a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, you don't need to move with the R line. But sometimes he'll think that internal clock where you think you got to move, and he'll just automatically start moving. I'm like, bro, if you would have just stayed there, you had a clean pocket. But he's done better than when he started.
Oh yeah.
Bucky Irving.
That's okay. So would you rather have the 4th pick or him?
Bucky. Yeah, I'm
Taking Bucky Irving?
Yeah, I'm taking Bucky.
104.
Oh, that was easy.
Yep, super easy for me.
Okay, next one.
All right.
I'm just-
No, that's cool. No, we took a little more time.
No, I mean, Bucky's a freaking monster, dude. He had like half the carries, and he still performed the way he did. He's still got 3 years on his contract, right?
Yeah.
So, Rashad White's going to be, I imagine they're going to phase him out. He's on the last year of his deal anyway. And yeah, I think Bucky Irving, like he had like the most yards after contact, some stupid thing, the most yards per carry or something like that in the league. Like, dude's a monster.
He was incredibly explosive. He looks awesome on film.
Here
It just comes down to
Nasty
My-
Nate's prediction.
yeah,
looking-
Nasty Nate hates a late drafted running back.
Oh my God.
If you don't have the capital, I'm moving on. And I think getting a first round pick for a running back that I probably spent a late second, early third on, I'm cashing out. I can replace him with a guy that I feel confident in the contract situation for 4 whole seasons. You know, nobody's cutting a rookie second round pick running back.
I'd probably take Bucky for the 102.
So all right, let me ask you, Ohio State fan, Trevion Henderson or Bucky Irving? Because that's your choice.
Probably Bucky.
Okay.
It depends. Now that's the thing is this is all before the draft, so it's
Right.
really tough. Now Trevion Henderson goes to a really good situation, and you're like,
All right, Trevion Henderson's
I
a
don't-
late second round pick to the Washington Commanders.
yeah, I'll probably do Bucky.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
see it.
Bucky.
I think
The
I
thing,
didn't weigh in on the other ones, but I'm going with Jacob because we've seen the dude do it in the NFL.
yeah,
Yeah, he looks
yeah.
awesome.
And
Like, what would be the best case scenario for Trevion Henderson? He's probably going to go split carries for some other team, and like you're going to be really happy that if he looked as good as what he did.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
It's-
I would be enthralled if he looked as good as Bucky did, but probably doubly so because I'd be more confident in the situation.
yeah. I feel like it would be kind of like the Devontae Smith when we talked about him. It's like you're trading Devontae Smith for a first and hoping that you get Devontae Smith again. I don't think you could even go wrong with that, though. You can't go wrong with getting Bucky Irving, and then, well, you can go wrong if you get somebody that you thought was going to be good and they aren't. But, I mean, at least you got your second round draft capital, thinking that he's going to give you
Such a,
points.
what is, like, you know how he's a draft capital queen.
He is.
Yeah, capital means everything. It is
Yeah.
by far my most important thing.
Yeah.
105 or Odunze.
Ooh, that's a Dunze.
Okay. So
I'm
you're
not
re-rolling. You're not
going to
re-rolling
re-roll yet. Not with this class.
because he's got draft
If
capital.
it was, it's not even just draft capital. I mean, I'm a Caleb guy. So the situation for me, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen out the door. It's 100+ targets vacated. I mean, the expectation is the first round X receiver steps up, right? So, I mean, that's at least the hope. I think he had a really nice season last year for the limited role he had. But yeah, I mean, I would take him over any receiver in this class unless Travis Hunter is a full-time receiver. In which
Oh,
case,
that's
Travis Hunter is an easy 102. That's the other part of going back to the 102. You keep the 102. New England takes Travis Hunter, and then 3 days later they say Travis Hunter's playing full-time wide receiver.
Yeah.
The value jump you just got there is just absurd.
Yeah. I think, like you said, it's a re-roll. I think it would depend on my team. If I needed a running back, I'd probably give it up.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But if I'm just talking about value, I think I'm going to keep Odunze, and I don't see how I could have kept Odunze all year and just gotten the 1 of the 5. So I think I'm just going to keep Odunze. I think he's going to be more NFL ready than whatever receiver comes out of the draft.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think, if I'm trying to win, then I keep Odunze.
I think prospect grade wise, he is easily a better prospect than any receiver in this class, in my opinion. And I mean, 1 of 5 is where you took him in our draft last season. So, and we talked about this, right? It being like JSN, where there's the built-in, failure. He can fail. He's allowed to fail because of the situation.
Yeah.
And everybody was going to be okay with it. And here we are. Everybody's okay with it.
Yeah.
Feels like you drafted him with the 5th pick, and now you trade him for the 5th pick. It's like you're kicking your can down the road.
Yeah, exactly. And
It's like, I don't ever really want to win. I'm just going to keep drafting him.
yeah, not everybody puts up 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie. Some guys it takes a year or two. So
I just want all the players that I drafted to be on the winning team, so I can be like, I had them on my team.
that's what I'm saying.
Kind of like Bryce Young.
106.
not really.
Bryce
Yeah.
Young, baby.
Taking 106.
I'll take the 106.
Are you taking Bryce Young?
For the 106?
Yes.
No, I'm keeping Bryce Young.
Is that really how high he's climbed on
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
It's
expected
good for
that.
Bryce, man. I like Bryce Young, the guy.
I think I don't see how you can get rid of a starting quarterback. I don't see how you can get a starting quarterback and not get a starting quarterback because you're not going to get one with the 106. So, I mean,
There's a lot of starting quarterbacks that are rated lower than the sixth pick.
Yeah, well, the starting quarterbacks that are completely unserviceable. I don't want them, of course.
Well, we're gonna get to some more later on. But
Yeah, I think Bryce Young is serviceable enough to start for your fantasy team as a second.
Yeah, I agree. I think he is. I think the nice thing is if you have Bryce Young, there's a good chance for the last 2 years you have not been relying on him as a lineup spot. There's a good chance you figured out 2 other options. You probably have 3 starting quarterbacks on your team because you had to make a move when Bryce Young got benched 4 different times over the last year and a half.
Well, maybe that's why you're picking 6 is because you were starting Bryce Young.
Well, I mean, imagine you're the guy who has Bryce Young, right? And you're trying to get the 106. If you have him, I think there's a good shot you can afford to give him up and improve a spot on your roster by a larger margin than what Bryce Young would do over Geno Smith.
Yeah. That's fair.
But Bryce was on a heater down the year. I'm not going to discredit anything he did. He looked awesome the last 6 weeks or so.
Credit to anybody who stuck with him and didn't trade him because we're talking about 6 months ago. People were trading for thirds.
Yeah,
so,
100%. Same with Justin Fields. You know, people are talking about him like a late first round pick now. It's crazy talk to me.
Right, the 107 or Kenneth Walker the third.
107?
Yeah.
So 107 puts me in the range of Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Matthew Golden or Ted McMillan, probably the second receiver there.
I feel like
you probably have Caleb Johnson. Well, I mean, in my opinion, if we're in the top 4, I've got the 2 running backs, Tet and Ward. And then probably the Ohio State backs are my personal next 2 picks. So that puts us right there at, Caleb Johnson. There's the second receiver and the tight ends. That's a tough one.
That's super tough. It is
so
many factors into it. But I do know that there is a lot of running backs in this class that you'd be comfortable taking. Kenneth Walker probably is. Did he get a deal or something like that, or is he around that area, around that age?
He should be around the time of getting a deal. I think he's done 3 years now, so he's either he wasn't a first round pick, so this is probably the last year of his deal.
You got the deal. You got Cabernet, whatever's that, Charbonnet. You got you don't know who you're going to be drafting at 107 for the running back. There's just so much to do. I would say I would very much consider taking the 107 because there's going to be a lot of running backs coming into the thing, and you just got to hit on that. That's the thing is you got to make sure whatever running back you get, you got to hit on it. Because if you give up Kenneth Walker for nothing, you're gonna
we know Kenneth Walker's a good player.
Yeah,
we know the Seahawks want to run the ball, but he does have his issues, right? He's inconsistent, he's injury prone, and Charbonnet's a talented enough back to steal carries on his just on his own, without an injury being there. That's the big thing for me is there being another talented back there. I'm willing to take the pick and take the risk for a potentially better situation. Yeah. If say Dallas takes a running back in the 3rd, that's a gravy situation. I know my guy's getting 90% of the snaps there.
Yeah.
And on the downside of it, that's still going to probably be either a first round wide receiver or, a top 12-ish pick tight end or something like that. I'm okay taking the pick there and being okay losing that production, even though I do think Kenneth Walker's a solid player. Yeah. It's just kind of my take on it.
And I love Kenneth Walker. I think he could be one of the best backs in the league, top 5 type dude. But
he has some crazy highlights. I remember him flipping that guy last year, going low and just throwing him over him. It's awesome.
He's a beast.
A lot of fun.
But I'm getting rid of him.
Yep,
you
go 107. Rookie fever.
About the 108 or Xavier Worthy? Speaking of good situations.
108.
Wow. 108. I go Worthy there.
I think I'm going to agree with Nate on that one. He finally figured out at the end of the year, him and Patrick Mahomes were vibing.
Yeah.
And
After
that's what Patrick Mahomes like to do, throw it deep. And he finally got somebody he can do that with.
I understand Jake's reservations just because, I'm not going to assume Xavier Worthy is the number one read in that offense.
He's
I think it is Rashee Rice,
Rashee
100% in my opinion, once he comes back. Potential suspension looming. I don't know. There's not even reason to speculate about it right now at this point. It's probably going to happen. It'll probably be like BS, 4 games or something.
I heard it was like BS. I heard he was telling her to get out of his house and like she.
No, I'm talking about the car thing where he like abandoned the car.
Yeah.
Race. Not Xavier Worthy. Yeah, I saw Xavier Worthy stuff. I'm not concerned.
That's why I was like, I mean, it would
seems to have been brushed off.
It would be on par for the NFL to suspend him anyway.
Right.
But I was like, But I forgot about the car thing. See, good player. I forget.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. What issues? Rashee Rice is a great human.
We were talking about that a lot last year, but man, so much has happened since then. So.
It's crazy. NFL clock moves like 3 times the speed of a normal one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Worthy there just because there is no upside receiver in that range, in my opinion. That could be what I think Worthy can be.
And I was actually pretty surprised that that's what he went for last year.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what people weren't remembering about the end of the season, but man, he was putting it on at the end of the year. Last couple of games.
Great.
Yeah, he did good in the Super Bowl when we put our backups in.
Yeah. That was the only game he did bad. The other games in the playoffs, he was doing good.
He actually did good in the Super Bowl.
He won me a lot of money in the playoffs.
He had like 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, as far the stats, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Jordan Addison or the 9th. Or the 1 or 9.
Oh no, I can't even remember how Addison did.
Addison had a good year.
He
did the same thing he did the year before, just a different way.
Yeah.
Similar to like Brandon Ayuk, where we've seen them score the fantasy points, high volume and low volume touchdown dependent.
Mm.
To my opinion, if I see that kind of variation, it just means you're good.
Yeah.
Some years will be better than others, but it means you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, he did okay. He had
a great year.
He didn't have 1,000 yards though.
No, he didn't.
He's probably a wide receiver 3 then.
I would say so. Yeah, he's probably a low 20s, like 27, 28, if I had to guess. It's the pick for me, just because there is no... I don't think he's like a T. Higgins level player. And I think you have to be that T. Higgins level player, even with an exceptional quarterback, to be the clear 2 on an offense and still excel for fantasy. Like, I don't see a way he finishes higher than top... I don't think he can break top 12. I really don't think, and as long as Justin Jefferson's healthy, I don't see the path to him being a wide receiver 1 for your team. And as good as he is, it's just kind of a bad deal for him. You got a raw situation as far as fantasy upside goes.
Yeah.
Not to mention it helps being the wide receiver too if you have Joe Burrow throwing you the ball instead of.
Whoa! My boy JJ McCarthy, okay? Don't make me get started on the dragon, okay?
I think I'm gonna take a pick too. I thought I was gonna take Addison, but then I thought why would I want just a mid player? Like I want somebody I don't need another roster spot. I can draft somebody at the 108 it was?
Yeah, 108.
I can draft somebody at the 108 and have a way higher upside than Jordan Addison.
Right.
So now I could always mess up.
Yeah, you might not draft a Cough award winner.
But I feel But I feel like if I mess up, I'm probably just gonna get somewhere around Jordan Addison.
Yeah, and that's my opinion too, right? Is I feel like the median outcome for mid to late first receiver in that range is if I draft Matthew Golden, that's kind of what I'm, small range hoping for as the worst possible outcome. It's a guy who can have 1,000-yard seasons but doesn't do it consistently.
Yeah.
If I get that out of a receiver in that range, it's fine.
Yeah.
And that goes back to talking about re-rolling Devontae Smith or something.
Yeah.
Except I think Devontae Smith is a much more talented receiver than Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
So
of course.
I'm willing to re-roll him for a higher upside.
Yeah, because you're re-rolling, but the chances are you could get Devontae Smith or you could get Jordan Addison, and that's pretty much where you're at. So I'm willing to take that risk to literally have the same thing.
Yep.
Jordan Addison, man, he just seems like the guy you draft him and then you're going to be stuck.
Yeah.
Because his value is only going to go down. you're basically going to be looking at him from here on out is like, do I want a second, mid-second, or Jordan Addison? And you're going to be like, man, I'm just going to take Jordan Addison because I gave up a 10.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if
you have Jordan Addison right now, I feel like you are in a situation where you basically have to hold him because I don't think if you have Jordan Addison that you can get the 108 for him. I'd be surprised if somebody right now was willing to give up their 108 in a real league for him.
That was off with Fantasy Cow, so
right.
Yeah.
Which I get. But just, I mean, I haven't seen anything like that in any of my leagues, but I just think it's
you're like you said, you're just kind of waiting to see what happens with this contract.
Yeah, you're waiting for the contract to come or for a trade or an injury. Yeah. And in my opinion, you know, that's not a fun asset to sit on.
No.
It's a dead asset. Like you're waiting for something out of his own control to happen.
If you're waiting for that, like you probably just shouldn't be waiting for that. Like,
you basically have to game plan around, okay, this is my flex. Weekly flex is going to be a boomer bust Jordan Addison play.
Yeah.
And now
if he catches a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. If he catches that 60-yarder, awesome. I'm going to have a really good week. Yeah. But if he doesn't, I have to make sure the rest of my team can perform around him. So
we're going to move on to something a more exciting player this time.
Okay.
Jameson Williams or the 10 or the 110.
That's tough. I like J-Mo. But there's probably a lot of talent. I'll probably take J-Mo. He's young. He's getting implemented into the offense. I think it took him a little bit. He had that injury. He had a suspension. I think I'd go J-Mo.
I'm taking the pick.
I think you've always hated Jameson.
No, I haven't. If you recall, I'm the one who spent the 3rd overall pick on the damn guy.
Well, I know. Well, okay.
Over Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave.
So you couldn't do it just because you couldn't imagine yourself. You put the 103 into it, and you don't want to go back to the 110.
No, it's not that. I am very happy for Jameson Williams. I feel like he's gotten a very raw deal to start his NFL career. You know, most of the things haven't really been his fault per se. You know, like, okay, he was gambling. It's not like he was betting on games. He was betting on other sports at the facility. Like, I think that's a load of crap.
That is.
They advertise it on their commercials all damn day. It's all over the stadium.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then the injuries, you know, he can't control that. So it's nice to see that the talent is there. I don't put it past Detroit to spend a high draft capital pick on the wide receiver position this season, just because they don't have an X receiver. Like, in my opinion, they don't have a man press beater on the outsides. They just don't, like, it's a role in the modern NFL that you pretty much have to have a body for that can at least be average. And, you know, I don't think Tim Patrick is that.
Well, who are they going to get in the draft to do that? Maybe Tech, but like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in their range, they'd be looking at guys more like Jaden Higgins. Golden could fall that far, but even I don't think Golden is like a man press kind of guy, in my opinion.
Probably like Burton. You go on the outside?
No, he's like a slot guy. He's like Debo.
Who was the one guy that caught that one on the side? I can't remember. Made a really good read for it, too.
Golden?
Was that Golden? He's fast, too?
Yeah, dude, Golden ran a 4.38.
Yeah, no, I didn't know, because I thought they were...
Yeah, he might have ran 4.3... He might have been lower than that. It might have been like 4.32.
Yeah,
no, I was just wondering. I was wondering who the one dude we watched the clip of that was on the outside and he made a read towards the ball. The quarterback went around.
Yeah, that's Golden.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we watched that clip. Yeah, that's it. So I mean, there is a couple big body guys. Like I said, I don't think they're going to spend a first round pick on receiver. Like, I'm not that overly worried about it. But I just don't think it's a role that they have accounted for on the roster right now. And we're pretty much done with free agents. So I'm expecting a draft pick that they're expecting to play this season.
Somebody that could come in and steal snaps from Jameson, basically.
At least if they go to 2 receiver sets, like Amon-Ra's not coming off the field, right? He's going to play the flanker. J-Mo has to step off at that point unless, you know, they're confident in his abilities as an X.
I think that the Lions just have such a diversity in how they use their players that I think J-Mo is going to see the field way too much to take him off. Like, I don't know. I think they'll have. I mean, 3 wide receiver sets is played a lot in NFL, so
for sure, definitely.
Either way, he's going to see the field, even if they draft somebody that could be like that. For
Right.
Talked about Sam Darnold a lot last couple weeks. So let's hear it. What do you got? 111 or Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold.
I want to hear where you're at with this.
That's the easiest Sam Darnold in my life.
Yeah.
You taking Sam Darnold?
You got a 3-year deal, bro. That's at least 2 years on the Seahawks. Starting quarterback, bro.
So would you give up the first pick of the second round for Sam Darnold?
If I would give up the 111,
He's about to offer you the Sam Darnold with the 201 in our draft.
I don't need Sam Darnold in that.
He's loaded.
So in other words, you're a
I
liar.
got 2 starting quarterbacks. Every single one of these is dependent on how my team is.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, if you were just talking about value, that's which way I would go. And this one's easy for me. The other ones I would be, but like this one, somehow
I don't know
that's made sense.
I'm taking the pick.
It didn't make sense.
I'm not happy about it, but I'm taking the pick.
Is it close? Is it close?
So right next to each other.
Yes and no. Like, if I'm going to go with Sam Darnold, in my opinion, I'm limiting the upside of what I'm going with at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
As much as I hate him, if Shedeur Sanders is a top 5 or 6 pick and he's sitting on the board at the end of the first round, I'm going to take him. And I would rather have a top 5 or 6 pick over Sam Darnold. So
I would like probably Shedeur as my third quarterback more than I would like Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Because Sam Darnold's going to see the bench a lot, probably, if he's my third quarterback. He's going to see the bench a lot, and all those points on the other weeks are just going to be like going down.
if I earned that pick in a super flex league, like it's literally my pick, I just lost the championship.
Yeah.
Then in that case, I might go with Darnold. Like if I have 2 starters, or like my second starter's fringy, like say it's I don't know.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, say Bryce Young. That's a really good one in my opinion. If I only have Bryce Young as my QB2, I'm not 100% confident in Bryce Young still.
Yeah.
Like despite the hot end, it's not like I'm saying, oh, guaranteed top 20
that's
quarterback
fair.
this season.
Yeah,
You know,
that's fair.
it's within the realm of possibilities at least that he regresses or he gets benched again. So I'd be okay doing it in that scenario to, open the window another year or 2 potentially for my team.
I don't know. I'm just not. I'm worried about Sam Darnold seeing ghosts again, and we've seen him the last 2 years, the last 2 games of the season, just like sort of fall
In the
apart.
playoffs.
What did he take? 9 sacks the last game?
Yeah,
Something bad. So
Who they play again? That
the Rams in the playoffs.
So I get it if you need a QB, like everybody needs 3 QBs. So, but I'm gonna take that 111. Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking the 111, and I'm trading for a different QB.
I feel that.
Like, that's probably fair value for this guy.
Yeah, I agree. Like if I have Darnold, that's probably the range I'd be looking to get into. I'm not just trying to give him away. I'd rather hold him than give him away for an early second or something, probably.
I think he's going to do fine in Seattle. So, I think I'm taking him.
I'm starting to get a little worried about Cooper Kupp.
I'm not worried about Cooper Kupp.
Just at this point in his career, based on the ability to beat man coverage, I think he's a exclusively slot player.
Yeah.
Which JSN
That's-
excels in the slot. That is definitely his best thing. I think he can play outside. But I mean, that at least worries me. It's a different scheme,
Yeah.
and he's changing to a different role. They're bringing in a new quarterback for him, a new number 2 receiver in Cooper Kupp. It's a lot of moving parts for everybody involved.
Yeah, I think that's fair to be worried about that. It doesn't really make a lot of sense when it comes down to it.
I do think it could work fine.
Yeah.
There's a more than 50% chance I think the Seahawks are at least a 500 team this year. I think it can work fine.
Yeah.
So.
It just doesn't make sense. There's plenty of teams with 2 outside receivers.
Yeah.
And then just last one.
Let's finish it out strong. 12 for Chuba Hubbard. How do you say his name? Chuba Hubbard. Chuba
Hubbard.
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 Yep. Chuba Hubbard.
Okay, or the 12.
Chuba Luba.
Me and Jacob were just talking about
Chuba
this.
Chuba Chugga. I'm taking the one. Whatever I don't have to have Chuba Hubbard in. I'm taking whatever I can from Chuba. He's flying off my roster. It's probably like the first suggestion somebody gives me. See ya.
I mean, he got paid, so that's the
You're
only
gone.
thing that stops me. Like,
Get out.
at least lets
He
me
didn't
think
get
about
paid
it.
that much though.
Not
I
that
think it was
much, but it was a
30?
yeah. I mean, it was almost double
3
digits per
years?
season. Like, I think it was 9, almost 10 million a year for
Yeah,
3 years,
9 million a year. Yeah.
which is pretty solid in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's guaranteed starter money.
Is
to
it?
me.
Is it?
I mean, they brought in Rico Dowdle for $2 million or something like that.
With Jonathan Brooks, too?
So I
Brooks
was
is already out for the whole year.
pretty much. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, like they already said he will not play football this season.
wow, that's wild.
Yeah, like they said that when it happened.
So that means Brooks is going to be under contract for an extra year then with them if he doesn't play.
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
I think
I
contracts
think it's
don't
still a
work like
cruise because it's an injury related thing. It's not like a holdout.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he was only a second round pick, so that's already half his rookie deal gone.
Yeah, he's still gonna have that.
And then the third year, you're coming off of 2 years straight toward the same knee, same ligament, the same knee twice. It's like
always so worried.
he's gonna
about
be
That's
revved
like-
in slowly.
that. You're acting
Yeah,
like these
and-
are females.
Dude, he just was running and just fell down. Nobody even touched
That's
him.
like
it
every
was like
single knee problem that
but it was
everybody
like his
has.
third
Like any-
carry after he got.
Yeah, I mean, he's
came
done
back,
it.
man.
Doing it twice isn't a
Yeah,
good sign,
yeah,
right?
sure.
Like it's
Yeah.
back-to-back
Yeah,
years
it's
isn't
like
great.
when Nick Chubb did that in college. Yeah, you're about
Right, and then after the second one, he came back this year, and we saw Nick Chubb.
he had a couple touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah,
He only played like 3 games.
I think we saw Nick Chubb his farewell tour, right? Because there's probably not a single team in the league that's going to give him a contract.
Oh well, he's probably asking for too much now, but
He's gonna pull a Kareem Hunt, the
Yeah,
former
he
Brown Kareem.
he could do
Just start beating women, or
No, not that.
it. Don't let him out of casino, fellas.
you won't sign me? Guess what? I'm off.
So why do you hate Chuba so much though?
He's just an average runner. He's an average runner, and he sold that game for the Panthers against the Bucs. He literally fumbled in overtime.
He did sell that game really well.
Yeah, but he won him a game in overtime later on.
I don't care.
I
don't care.
didn't
That
watch.
doesn't help me. You fumble in the week.
I
I
didn't-
needed the 4 more points, but
I don't have them. I was watching the game just for no reason, and I had to watch Chuba Hubbard fumble in overtime after Adam Thielen made that nice ass catch. So get off my team, fella.
He hates turnovers.
I like
He
Chuba.
hates
I just
turnovers.
don't see a reason to pay for Chuba Hubbard with the 112 when I can go buy James Conner for like the 209 or the 208 or something. Like it's the same thing to me. I'm buying a year and a half, maybe 2 years if I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think he's a good player. He's going to score some fantasy points. Like he finished as a top 12 running back this season.
Breaking news.
I'm not going to act like that didn't
He's not
happen,
good.
but good fantasy players.
On what?
Acting like it didn't happen.
What didn't happen?
That he was a top 12 running back.
That's an RB1, man.
It didn't happen, bro.
That's a winning player. He was first loser player. He was on the second place roster in the Spud League.
Yikes.
He couldn't get over my vicious line. Yeah, they're all gone now. I traded half the lineup for Jahmyr Gibbs
Oh, the damn chicken's back.
just in time.
No, I don't like Chuba Hubbard because they clearly just don't know what they're doing with running back. And Chuba Hubbard's not the answer for any type of problems that the Panthers have. Like, they're going to need a running back literally next year.
Yeah, I mean, they can upgrade, right? Like, it's one of those situations. There's definitely upgrades that can be made to Chuba Hubbard. Like, it's not like he's a top 10 running back or something.
They need somebody.
But at this stage in the process, like, they just spent a second on Jonathan Brooks, and he's totally toast. They don't have the picks or the capital because of the Bryce Young trade to just keep blowing early capital picks on running back again. You know, like Chuba gave them a above average quality season. They said, we'll just pay you and we'll roll with that for 2 years and we'll just try to develop Bryce. At least there's one solidified piece with him that's going to be in the backfield every
I think they said, we're going to pay you because we just have the money, so why not?
Yeah, we have to reach the salary floor and you're the only guy that's unsigned. So
Do they have that for the NFL?
salary floor, yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's low. I mean, it's probably
Like,
180 million. You have to spend. Yeah, you have to spend.